pulled out of bed to do a reading. That's fine by me. So, just take a deep breath here. The reason that I'm being pulled out of bed to do a reading is about walking the path. This is about walking the path and about recognizing mission. And, you know, we talk a lot about North Node on this channel. We are doing a class this week. If you want to join, talk about the depth of the North Node piece. That is definitely about your mission, your work, what your work is here on the planet. And for those of you who don't know about North Node, South Node in your astrology chart, North Node, or Rahu Ketu as it's referred to in Vedic, the North Node is really where you're going. It is a stretch. It is something that is going to push you, and it's going to upend a lot of things for you. You know, we talk in the twin flame community, in the spiritual awakening community, a lot about upending belief systems and traditional kinds of things. The North Node is your own personal upender. Okay, it's your own belief systems are getting upended. Your own about certain things, and the reason why the North Node is so important is it's showing you what not only what part of your life needs the lessons to be learned to walk towards something that might be a little bit is a little foreign to you. That's on purpose. That's purposeful for your soul's growth. Okay, so let me just put it this way. Somebody sent me an email the other day that think of your soul like an actor. Okay, and an actor plays roles in your life. You play a role of a daughter, you play a role of a son, a husband, a wife, a CEO, an artist, right? An entertainer, whatever you're playing the role as. And over the course of your life, you know, in your early part of your life, there's a path. And then as you move on, there's another path that is seemingly opposite from the path with which you started, yes, and the path where you're going. So some of us, I'm an 8th house North Node. Some of us have massive transformations in our lifetimes. Some of us, it's really about balance though. Okay, let's just say it. It's really about balance. That the North Node is about where you're going. The South Node is about where you've been. And the balance here is to not get so enamored with where you're going, to forget about where you've been, or not be so frightened about where you're going, to stay behind, to stay back in that South Node. So one of the things that has been revealed to me about my journey is it's about transformation. My job is about communicating about hidden things, hidden information, help you transform your life. It's also transformed my life in the process of doing that. So today I want to pull some cards for you, messages on the spiritual path right now. I'm feeling so strongly pulled to this work right now. You're going to see more of it. Souls on Fire has been a little bit dormant for a while. That's the second channel here. I will be doing some videos over there regarding this as well. Like I said, if you want to join the workshop, that's this 22nd. The link is below for you if you want to do that, to find out more about where you're going. And the thing is that I've seen both. I've seen people who get they get too comfortable in their South Node. And so what happens is it atrophies. So again, back to the actor analogy. If you were to play the same role over and over again, you would stagnate, okay? As a human being, you would stagnate, and that's not what you're here to do. This is about your past life and what gifts you have brought to the table. It also feels super comfortable. And so when people choose not to walk toward their North Node, they tend to atrophy. Their lives tend to get smaller. They tend to shrink or become less vibrant in that energy. And so because the challenges to going towards your North Node are many. It's about expansion. It's about embracing the new lessons. And some people I've seen become so enamored with the North Node, that they forget about the past lessons. They forget about that South Node. They forget about their past lives, or they forget about the lessons that they brought in. You know, it's like when you get here, like Survivor Island, right? You get a little package of stuff, and that's what you get. And it's almost like some people become too enamored with their North Node that they just leave that pack on the beach, and they're like, oh, I just want to be free of all that so I can walk into this wilderness. But the universe is saying to you, you know, stuff in that pack is actually valuable. Don't forget about your previous skill sets. Don't forget about your previous energies that had been successful in your past life. But now we're like, hey, they're you know, it's a pack of matches, or it's a flint stick so you can start a fire. It's you know, a fishing lure and a little fold up fishing pole so you can fish, right? There's all these tools that are really good. And if you're like, I refuse to make fire or have fish, you know, on the desert island, you know, then you're going to work a lot harder later to come up with a way to make fire and to come up with a way to catch fish. So don't forget about that stuff. Now, the key to all of this is balance. Okay? The key to all of this is balance. It's about not forgetting the South Node. It's also about not getting too comfortable. It's also not about not getting too completely wrapped up in that new thing, so that the old skills aren't used. You can use all those old skills, okay? So for example, my old skill set was about, you know, marketing and media and television and, you know, all of that stuff, all of those tools of the trade, right, to create security in my life. That's what it was. I understood what that was. It was about generating information. I worked in the news media, so it was about that. But going toward this 8th house, which is where my North Node is, it's about embracing things that are not seen, right? Hidden knowledge. The 8th house is the house of secrets. It's the house of things that are not commonly known. And so to embrace the 8th house energy too much, you know, to not utilize my skills, it is about transforming those skills. Okay, that's 2nd house, 8th house. So that's one of the things. We'll do more videos on these. But anyway, what I'm trying to say to you is it's about embracing where you're going and bringing along, but transforming those old skills, right? Those old skills have, you know, television, for example, has a reality in my life every day because I'm making these little shows every day, right? But YouTube is the new version of that. It's not the same. It's not like going to, you know, channel 3 down the street, right? We're not doing that. And the communication is about transformation. So this is how you can put into play that experience of where you're going. So that's one of the things I really want to talk more about this year. The whole year is about that, is offering up information that is going to help you go down the road toward where you're needing to go, and then balancing that, okay? Without getting too in love with where you're going and forgetting about your past. It's about balancing. All right, so that's a lot of talk about North Node, but I feel like that's the important thing I'm supposed to be talking about right now. Overcome any obstacle. I love that the rhino has like this pink. it does a little bit remind me of the dancing hippos, right, in Fantasia. The power of the hippo, the power of the rhino, about just bowling through things, but also having, this is more of a delicate thing. It's not about a bowling through. Time to collaborate. time to collaborate. So, you know, I'm here every day and I'm doing my videos, but I have many, many friends on YouTube. Hey to everybody. Sonia, the Illust Illuminator, and Adelina Bond, who's no longer on YouTube, they're good friends of mine. And the collaboration there, and Bracha, who does astrology, fantastic people. They have wonderful, wonderful spirits. Coyote spirit. This is interesting. Trust in divine detours. So for some of you, that's a big one. Okay. So when you're in this situation of, remember we're talking about your tools and bringing that bag onto this desert island and then going toward the thing you're supposed to be going toward, which could be kind of foreign to you. Other people are here to help. Other people are here to help you get on that road. And instead of like, oh no, this is my journey and stuff like that, it's great to collaborate. So if you're not part of the Empress Club is something I created for people on their spiritual path. If you want to join, that's awesome. It's a great community. They help each other. You know, I put videos in there and stuff like that, but I think the most valuable, and you know, people in the Empress Club can dispute this if they want to. It seems to me that the most important part of that Empress Club is that they help each other. Okay. It's a positive place. When we get, you know, there's been plenty, well, not plenty, but some negative skirmishes and stuff. That stuff is done. No, ain't nobody got time for that. Okay. And right now, someone who's watching this is having some kind of divine detour. And it seems like it's not, not important, it's not in your path, it's, you know, you might be disputing it like, oh, this isn't the spiritual nature of what I'm supposed to be doing. For example, I have a good friend who has their North Node placement in the 12th house and their South Node placement in the 6th house. 6th house is the house of the day job and the keeping body and soul together, exercise, health, taking care of yourself, right? And, you know, keeping a roof over your head and all that kind of stuff. The North Node is in the 12th house, and that person, I see them as spending all of their time moving toward that 12th house. And I was kind of confused about that for a minute. I was like, well, aren't they supposed to be heading toward that? Like, isn't that really what we're supposed to be doing here? But what I understand, then I was like diving into learning more about it. It really is about the balancing of those two things, because this person has a gift to share. This person has a voice that needs to be heard. But part of their journey is to not get so wrapped up in that, the spiritual nature of the 12th house, Neptunian, very sort of blurry, and it's an escape. And using it as an escape instead of balancing it. So creating a thing, creating a side hustle, creating, you know, if this person is not, I'm not going to say not able, because they certainly are, but they're so done with this 9-to-5 job stuff, right? Like they're so over it. And a lot of people I talk to are so over it, super over it, which is why this work is so important. For this person to be able to spend time in that 12th house, which is what their soul wants to do, they have to keep their body together. They have to keep their house together. They have to keep their, not a livelihood. They just have to generate money, which is what, you know, what our current culture deems as valuable, but also what we do in exchange for stuff. So you got a body, you got to take care of it. Take care of it in terms of exercise, take care in terms of eating well, take care of it in terms of sleeping well, getting good sleep, you know, taking care of yourself so that you don't become sick or you don't become enmeshed in stuff that is going to then take all of your attention away from the 12th house and focus it all on the 6th house of making a living, making, you know, that, you know, money coming through to support that stuff. So this person is having a struggle with so beautiful 12th house. Yeah. Okay. But we really need to keep body and soul together and keep you healthy and all of these things. So that's a balancing act. And I feel like some of you right now are having this kind of detour, having this kind of feeling like I'm walking toward what I'm supposed to be doing on this planet. Why am I having resistance, or why am I having stuff crop up that seemingly blocks me from where I'm supposed to be going? I know where I'm supposed to be going. I'm supposed to be a I'm supposed to be a psychic. I'm supposed to be intuitive. I'm supposed to be nurturing children. I'm supposed to be running a company. All of these supposed to be's. It's really about balancing the direction you're going in and not forgetting about the past. So the trap, I wrote this down, it was so interesting to me. The trap of the South Node is to stick with what's familiar long after it. And you can tell this if you stick with the trap, if you stick with, like if your South Node's in the first house, the house of you, if you stick with that instead of going toward relationship, right? Because that's scary, or because you don't want it, or because it's, you know, it's going to keep being presented to you and you're like, no, no, no. You're not wanting to move toward that, that place of relationship because it's familiar. It's not because like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do in my life. I'm stuck here because the familiarity is what's sticking, is what's, you know, the world is uncertain. And to stick in that South Node is to get stagnant. It is Madonna in 1984 as the Material Girl. If we were hearing about Madonna, the Material Girl, I mean, in different iterations, we have been over the past 30 years. But if she stayed in that, like, hey, you know, wearing those same kind of 80s clothes and all that stuff, we'd be like, you're a has-been, right? We would feel that way because that was familiar, huge success for her. And sometimes when you have huge success at things, because that's the first way you burst through, it's hard to move on, right? It's hard to, what's the next iteration of this? What's the next way I do my lesson on the planet? What does that look like next? And sometimes that can be scary. That's why artists, poets, authors, people who create have more openness. I used to, okay, no disrespect to engineers, but artists, because engineers are super creative people. Artists push the envelope. That's how you know what art is. It really pushes the envelope, pushes the emotional envelope. It gets you to think outside of your box. That's the purpose of art on this planet, is to help people open up to new ways of thinking, new ways of doing. That's creative energy, right? The builders and the engineers of the world are creative also, because they are taking what is known and making a new thing, right? That's why science and art is kind of coming together. That's why science and philosophy, science and expansion of the mind, expansion of the soul, expansion of the spirit, kind of coming together, okay? Because this level of expansion is what's being required. We're no longer able to sit in our 20th century, you know, please read, if you have not read this, John Cougar Mellencamp did a song about it, okay? The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock. Just trust me, okay? And please go read that, because that is poetry, right? And then the Mellencamp song, Little Pink Houses, okay? That's about staying in comfort. And you guys on the spiritual path are about leading others out of that. That's why so many of you are artists and healers and creators and expansion, right? And all of this stuff. And the trap of the South Node is to stick with what's familiar as a culture. That's what's happening right now with our culture, is to stick with what's familiar, or is to stick in a place that isn't where we're going, okay? The temptation of the North Node is to forget where we've been. Like I said about my friend with the 6th and the 12th house. That person has forgotten because they stayed in that 6th node house of day job. They got very, very successful, and then it got ripped away from them. And so it seems to me, and I'm not going to put words in this person's mouth. I'm just looking at it from an outside perspective. I'm a Sagittarian. I'm also an Aquarius. Venus, so can see from big, the big picture of things, can connect the dots. That's one of the gifts that I have been given, is to be able to see that, like, oh my goodness, yes, anger over your livelihood getting ripped away from you. So that's why you're heading toward the North Node. You're really doing what you're doing, but you're forgetting you're forgetting where you've been. And it's really about balancing those two things. Okay? So right now, divine detours, you're getting some divine detours. Someone is feeling like they're just really ready to burst on the scene, or ready to make a thing out here, putting their voice out there, or leading other people, or start a healing practice, or start a YouTube channel, or something like that. And there's little detours, right? Little detours that are designed to keep you in that South Node, to keep you safe, okay? And that's about the most dangerous thing you can do, is to try to sit back in that energy of staying, because what will happen is it will atrophy and fall out from underneath you. So even though it worked at one point, at some point in your life, it's done working. Okay? And that's why people get fired. Okay? When you try to go back to an old way of doing something and you start getting fired, that's that's how you know that it's time to really embrace that North Node. When the things you were very comfortable doing no longer work. And what I mean by that is, you don't have to get fired, but like, you can be in a job or in a life that just becomes meaningless to you. That could be a marriage. That's why a lot of people are feeling like, isn't there something more out there? Well, yes, there is. And that's about not falling for the trap of staying in that safety place, but really embracing. And the place you're going to go is very different, is opposite from where you have been. For many of us, extremely opposite. Okay? So I'm going to do a little reading here. So it's time to collaborate. That's why I say about the Empress Club, because I feel like if you guys work together, some of you can help each other. Whether it's emotionally, spiritually, physically. Some of you can collaborate in real life in terms of money or work, or, whatever it is. There's something that needs to be, worked on together. Okay? So overcoming obstacles by collaborating, and then seeing the divine detours. Like, okay, I was going to launch my channel this year, and all of a sudden I've got, some kind of health issue, or I've got, a family issue. My mother needs my attention, or whatever. You're getting like detoured. It's seemingly detoured away from your mission, but those things are meaningful because they're helping you realize and expand on a skill or a talent or a calling in this life. That tool is going to be used. So my father, when I was young, when I was very young, because he passed away when I was 14. So what he said to me, and I didn't understand at the time, obviously, because I was a kid. I think it was when I was 9 or 10. He said, you just got to think of yourself as collecting skills, like golf clubs in a bag. As you go through your life, think of yourself as collecting skill sets. And this was definitely my journey, that collect those things and keep them in your bag. You don't go throwing out the golf clubs as you go down the course. Oh, I use my driver. There it goes. You don't do that, right? You keep them in your bag because you're going to probably use it again. And if you don't, you don't. But keep those clubs in your bag, because these divine detours are divine. They are purposeful. They're helpful to you in the way of learning things. One of my very good friends has an issue, a family issue, a health issue with a family member. It's pushing her to develop more trust, develop stronger communication, stronger boundaries, right? So 7 of Wands underneath, I know you forgot we were doing a tarot reading because I was talking so long. Oh my God, it's 25 minutes. Okay, so Knight of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles. Whoever this is for, okay? Fool, Sun, King of Wands, Knight of Cups, Ace of Swords. Wow, Six of Wands. Okay, so I see some of you doing great. Some of you are doing great, and others of you need help. So the person that needs help has just been really resisting other people and doing what they want to do. Okay, you're grown up, do what you want to do. Other people have had opinions about it and stuff like that. And this person who is having trouble, really trouble, Knight of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles. There's Virgo energy there. Virgo is 6th house, 6th house, 12th house. So this person may have in the excuse me, in the past been that good doobie. Okay, been somebody who was responsible and made a living and all of that kind of stuff, and that's done. And now they need help. Okay, now they need help. They have a problem asking for help. Okay, this is you guys. I feel like this is somebody in your life, whoever this is for. Okay, you could be going through a hard time too, needing help. There's someone in your life, could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag here. And this fire sign has shown you that they have taken that leap of faith toward that North Node, toward doing what they're here to do. And they have maintained the childlike wonder, okay, excuse me, the creative piece, and become a master of that. Okay, that person has done that. This could be you, really being masterful. And the key is joy. The key is joy. It's not necessarily hard work. This other person believes that making money or having abundance in their life is purely hard work, because that's how it was presented to them. And that's their belief system. Okay? They have much to share. They have much to share with other people. And maybe they're not doing it right now. Okay? Because they could be focused on themselves. They could be focused on their own thing. And that's not working for them. Okay? So, there's a beautiful offer here. Along with the Ace of Swords. The truth will set you free. The truth will overcome things. This person, I feel like, for those of you who are in this Sun, King of Wands place, Fool, you've really taken a leap. You've really become successful, or or if this is somebody in your life or coming into your life. Okay, somebody coming into your life. Chariot, wow. Three of Wands, Eight of Swords, Queen of Cups. So this person could also be super successful. They're overcoming their shortcomings, or how they've overcome their shortcomings is to go into joy. This person, if this is you here, you could also be attracting a Cancerian, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio into your life by this, okay? And this person could be somebody who is they could be Cancer, Moon, Rising, or Venus, and they could be having problems manifesting because they're just not seeing what we're talking about here. They're just not understanding the balance of things. Okay, there's also a little bit of helplessness here. It feels to me like the person who's not getting it, who's having problems, isn't getting it. They're not seeing the path, right? You are seeing the path and sharing that information, but feeling helpless because this person's not seeing it, okay? And so the key here is this Ace of Swords, the truth. The truth. It's a truth. A truth about money. Okay, a truth about security. Okay, So when I said the truth, I stopped myself because there can be, this person is being stubborn because they think they know the truth. They think that day-to-day work and all of that kind of stuff is a grind. That's what they believe, that. They believe that they have nothing to offer. They put themselves down. They believe all these things. These are beliefs. A belief is just a thing, a story you tell yourself over and over again. Okay? And so to cut through that, this King of Wands here, Fool, King of Wands, Fool, Sun, King of Wands, the person who's overcome this challenge has said, hey, I get what's going on here. Let me share. And this person might be resistant to that because it's not, like how abundance comes into your life. If you are determined that it only comes in through a lottery ticket, then what if God sends you a person who you could, a love partner, a life partner, a business partner, another person whose combined skill set could really expand what you're doing, and the money and abundance of all kinds could come through that way. I feel like that's the block here. 10 of Pentacles, Hanged Man, Hierophant, Emperor. This, the couple I'm talking about, or the two people here, very influenced by father, okay? And have been, this person, the King of Wands, was strung up by that, okay? Was stopped by that. But Sun, Ra, this is first house. This is, I know this is Leo, right? Visibility, but it's also about you, your ego, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a putting your gifts out there in the way on this new path, a completely new way of doing that. Okay? Becoming the King of Wands, mastery, having achieved, come here you, having achieved some mastery. Okay? Yes. Overcoming. So the person who is stuck in this Five of Pentacles needs to see a new truth as it relates to money, as it relates to security, as it relates to stability. They need to see a new truth. And this mindset, this could be very Aries. Okay, so Aries energy here with the Emperor, and then the Hierophant can be very, and also this is very stuck energy. Okay, especially in this deck, because you see the Emperor is not really doing anything. Usually the Emperor does something. This mindset about money and belief systems are really being stuck. They're stuck. Okay. They're being stuck. 9 of Pentacles, 6 of Swords, 2 of Cups, 5 of Wands. So I feel like there was kind of a, there is some kind of love relationship here. Okay, the Queen of Cups coming up, the Chariot, wanting to move forward. There is some kind of love relationship here. It's being blocked by old ways of thinking. Most definitely being blocked by old ways of thinking. And other people's bullshit. Other people telling you what to do or something like that. The person who needs to hear your message, if you're this King of Wands Fool here, okay? The person who needs to hear your message is not hearing your message because there's too much going on. Their brain is being overwhelmed by all of their belief systems, all of their old belief systems, things that their family told them, okay? Things their family told them can't be wrong, especially when it comes to money or things like that. And the truth is something different, because it's not that they were wrong at the time they told you. It's that we're going through evolution. We're going through an evolutionary process here. So the rules are changing. And your spiritual path is calling. So these things can be very confusing when you try to go back to that place where you were comfortable, especially if you think that place was bad. Okay, so for everybody who believes that going toward your North Node is the right path, yes. But however, don't forget about these old skill sets, these old tools, because you're going to need them. And also labeling them bad or better, right? Labeling, oh, don't sit South Node. You know, I remember feeling that way, like, oh, North Node expansion, right? That's fantastic. But there's a balance here of being able to see what you were being taught as a child and being able to then transform those ideas as we move through an evolutionary process here. Being able to really transform those ideas. This is kind of a big deal. Magician, Seven of Cups, Seven of Swords, Queen of Wands. So the key here, if I'm using this as a key, right? Information. The key here is to know what you want to manifest. Know what you want to manifest. And the Seven of Swords here is about running away from challenge. Running away toward things that feel safe or comfortable. Conversely, escaping into something that is letting you that is making you forget about those old skill sets. Okay, it's a balance. Queen of Wands. So I feel like for some of you, whoever this is, whoever I'm talking to that's in this stuck place, it's stuck because of a masculine, and I'm not saying men versus women, I'm saying masculine energy of yang. Must be hard work, right? Must be hard work. It must be. To be valuable, it must be hard work. To be valuable, you must kill yourself in order to make any money. Whatever the mindsets were around money and around success, around doing for yourself, being the person that you want to be, or, you know, having that spiritual expansion and forgetting about, you know, material world. How can you balance those things? I feel that there's a fire sign here, King of Wands, Queen of Wands, who, when we get this nurturing energy of this Cancerian energy of love, the true love is to help this person move forward. But you can only do that by, you can't make them do it. People can only hear a message when they're ready to hear a message. You can't make them do it. Will they embrace it and move towards something that is more helping them to overcome something? This is about, I feel like this is you helping them navigate this very confusing world. Okay? Helping them navigate a very confusing world. Right now, they're escaping with their truth, okay? They're escaping with their truth into something that has evolved, and they need new tools. It's almost like your relationship with them is helping them become the magician. This person could be a love relationship, but it does feel like somebody who is confused right now. And so maybe the love relationship isn't a thing, okay? Okay. So I know this has been really long, but if you want to continue, I'm gonna continue over on Vimeo. If you want to keep coming with me, that would be wonderful. If not, I hope this message has helped you today.